Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tiffany and Pen, where we talk about maintaining productivity in your creative endeavors while maintaining wellness and balance in your day-to-day life, because we are not about burnout over here. Today is Quitter's Day, and we are going to talk about what Quitter's Day is and how we cannot be a part of it. Before I go any further, I want to introduce myself. I'm Tiffany Johnson. I am a writer, a published children's book author, a singer-songwriter, musician, and I am also completing my MBA program, and I will graduate in the spring. Woo woo. So today I'm really looking forward to our conversation. No matter where you are in terms of accomplishing your goals, I feel like this video is really relevant. So if it's not the beginning of the year, maybe it's the middle of the year, maybe it's the end. I don't know. Hopefully these reminders can help you to just keep continuing to move forward. If you have stopped, if you have considered giving up, I would like to offer a hard no on that. You do not have to give up. It's just a matter of picking up where you left off. That is completely okay, and we are going to talk about that today. I'm going to be referencing my recent post here as well, which I will link below if you want to dig into some of these concepts deeper. So if you see me looking over here, that's what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I want to do today is share a couple of verses that I think are extremely relevant as we think about what it means to set goals, the process of goal setting, the process of working towards those things. Again, I'm at the tail end of setting New Year's resolutions. What does this mean when you set a new plan for yourself, a new cadence of work, right? A new project that is far from being finished, that you want to see yourself make a lot of progress on, or perhaps see finished within a certain amount of time. These scriptures, I think, really help us to navigate those spaces, because let's face it, they don't always happen the way that we think that they will or they should. I'll also say that the beginning of the year and the whole resolution culture, New Year's resolution like moment, right? What comes with that is a lot of excitement, right? A lot of motivation. We're feeling really super inspired, and oftentimes that feeling, that excitement, it goes away. And so what do we do when it goes away? And what I was really excited about last week or yesterday, I am not excited about at all. What do we do? What are we supposed to do? Like, how do we manage those moments and still find joy and still find rest and still find progress, right? And so let's go ahead and get into that a little bit more. The first scripture that I want to share with you comes from James. The full verse is found in James chapter 2. Faith without works is dead. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. And I'm sure many of you may have even heard this verse before. But what does it mean? Well, it means that faith, or this hope, or the belief that there is something that is going to come to pass or can come to pass, will not unless you're working towards it. And so again, as we're thinking about our own goals, right, and the plans we've made for ourselves and those things that we truly believe can come into fruition, it's not going to happen unless you put in the work. One of the things my mom tells me often is, it only works if you work it. In other words, unless you are being active in that plan, in that system, right, toward your goals, you cannot expect to see an outcome. Faith without works is dead. The second scripture I'm going to share with you really quickly comes from the book of Habakkuk. I believe also chapter 2 it is. It says, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Okay? We're talking about a plan, a vision. Write it down. Make it plain. For you, this might be a to-do list, right? For you, this might be a schedule towards an ultimate goal. Whatever it is that you've written down, the scripture is showing us that it's being made plain Maybe it's a vision board. It's being made plain for a purpose, and that purpose is to run with it. That purpose is to move forward with it. That purpose is to put some action and some energy towards whatever that vision, whatever that plan is. So both of these scriptures, great reminders that it's not just about the plan, the hope, the dream, the wish, but it is equally, perhaps more so, about the action, the work. I like saying the energy. What energy are you putting into it to actually ultimately see that thing move forward? So two really succinct but powerful and clear scriptures to remind us not just of the overall goal, but what our role is in it, and it is to work. And I think that is hard for us as humans, as people. We want to rest, we want to chill, we want to find the easy way, but we got to work. And if we want to be productive people, we have to be willing to do that. And so now I'm going to move into the 3 reminders. Again, I did share these in my recent post, which I will have linked below if you want to read a little bit more in depth about these things. But let's go ahead and move forward. So reminder number 1 is, without working towards your goals, you simply won't achieve them. So kind of what we've been talking about. But also remember your why. Why did you set your goals? What are they for? Is it for career development? Is it to create more stability for your children, for your family? Is it so that you're in a better financial situation because you just feel you need to be more responsible over what you have so that you can grow effectively? Is it because you're passionate about the giftings that are in you and you know you haven't been really practicing or working on those areas of your life? That was really one of my bigger convictions at the beginning of this year, specifically realizing and understanding that God has given me giftings. I am spiritually obligated to be working on them. I should be working on my writing. I should be working on my music, because I believe that God gifts us on purpose for a purpose. What can I do about that? And that's the why behind a couple of the goals that I set for myself this year. What is your why? So as we observe Quitters Day, how are you making sure you're not a quitter? This holiday is not for you. Part of that is going to be remembering your why. A lot of times remembering your why can give you that little push to just keep going and to ultimately not give up. And now to the second reminder, which is, it is okay to adjust. It is not okay to quit. I'm going to repeat that. It's okay to adjust. It's not okay to quit. We're not doing that over here. And what's interesting too, this is just coming to mind, is I like to talk about avoiding burnout on this platform. Burnout is quitting. Quitting is a symptom of burnout. We're not quitters because we're not experiencing burnout, because we are maintaining levels of wellness and balance in how we go about our creative endeavors and hopefully all areas of your life. And so for this second reminder where we say it's okay to adjust, I think it's really important to be realistic with yourself, realistic with your capacity, realistic with your time. For all of us, it is different. And again, like I said, the beginning of the year, like some of that excitement we feel is facetious. It's false, okay? It's like a high, right? And it goes away. And so maybe what we thought we were gonna be able to do on January 1st, we're quickly finding out as school is back in session, as we are back in the office, like, look, I bit off a little bit more than I can chew. That realization is okay. Why? Because it's true. And it's important to pay attention to the truth. I truthfully do not have the stamina to run for 30 minutes every day like I planned at the beginning of the year. That is okay. And this is where the adjust part comes in. Maybe you can't run for 30 minutes each day. Maybe you can walk for 15 minutes 3 times a week. Maybe that's a better place to start for you. Are you still working towards your goal of getting more cardio in? Yes. Of moving around more? Yes. Of working towards perhaps a weight loss goal? Yes, you are. Especially if last year, which is the case with me and reading and working out, if I'm being honest, I wasn't doing any of that. So even walking for 5 minutes every day is a huge step for me compared to where I've been. And I'm not going to consider that a failure just because it's not running for 30 minutes every day. I am not a track star. And for some of you, maybe you are not a track star yet. I don't know what your goals are, but I am saying be realistic with yourself. If you need to scale it back, scale it back. That is completely okay. And find joy and find wins and note your productivity and your progress through what you can do and what you can be committed to. And just like we're scaling back now, you can scale up later on in the year, later on, maybe even in the coming months, but pace yourself. It is okay. And again, the most important thing is let's be doing more than we were doing. Let's start there. For me, one of my non-negotiables that I will probably keep bringing up is to write for at least 5 minutes every day. When I thought about that goal, I was really realistic with myself to say, you know what, 20 minutes sounds great to write for 20 minutes every day. I know I'm probably not going to do that, even just for the sake that the thought of writing for 20 minutes every day just seemed like too much mentally. Now, in reality, when I sit down to write for 5 minutes, I tend to write for longer than that. And sometimes it is 20 minutes. Sometimes it's longer than that. Sometimes it's only 5 minutes because that's all I had time for that day. So again, be realistic with yourself. It's okay to make adjustments. It's just not okay to quit altogether. And if you missed some days, if it's not a perfect track record, that's okay. Just start up again. Make adjustments if you need to, and be as consistent as possible. And if you need to make more adjustments, do that, but don't quit. And finally, for the third reminder, and then I will be out, is it's not too late to continue, and it's only quitting if you stop. So again, it is not too late to continue, and it's only quitting if you stop. And so this is for the folks, again, and specifically who maybe you've stopped. Maybe even in your mind, you're like, haha, just kidding, I'm not doing that. Like, I quit, like whatever. Yeah, I give up. What's the big deal with giving up when I haven't even been doing this anyway? It feels more normal to not be doing this than to do it. It actually doesn't feel like that much of a deterrent or that much of a downfall or that much of a failure if I quit because it is my norm. Let me tell you something right now. That is a lie. That is a lie from hell. That is not true. And that is not okay. And we are not going to do that. We're not going to believe that. You have your dreams. You have your hopes for your future for a reason. And those reasons are important not only in how they will affect you in your life, but also how they're going to affect the people around you, the generations that come after you. And so do not casually lay down your goals and your dreams. That is actually dangerous and it's detrimental to your purpose in this earth. And the devil would have you to lay down those things with an attitude that it doesn't even matter, when ultimately he is robbing you of your life and that more abundantly that God has actually purposed and promised for you. I do not mean to digress, and I do not mean to preach today, but I do really feel, I feel that this is a really important area to recognize. It's the easiness, right? It's how easy it is to just give up. Why else do you think Quitter's Day is so prominent? Why do you think Quitter's Day is a thing? Why do you think millions of people just give up every year, year after year? Because it's normal and because it's regular. This is not our normal. This is not our regular. And I think it's really important that we begin to see the sinister agenda behind when we quit and when we give up on our goals. And maybe even consider that that's not even our idea, that we are being influenced to give up on our very purpose, which is wild to think about. That is crazy. Why would you give up your gifts? Why would you give up on your dreams? That is like, that's your divine self. Why would you give up on your dreams? Like, that's who you are and who you are supposed to become in your life at its core. Those are the things that we give up when we quit. That's not okay. That's scary. I don't want to be like that. I don't want you to be like that. So that's all I had to share. And it kind of ended up in a different place than I thought it was, but I think it's really, really important, because I think what's been revealed in this conversation is the value and the importance of whatever goals we've set for ourselves, but also like the detriment of simply giving up. So we're not going to do that. So it's Quitter's Day. I want to say congratulations on Quitter's Day for not being a quitter and for not giving up. And if you thought you were, I hope that this has inspired you to keep going. And I'm going to say congratulations to you too, because we are not quitting, because we are not quitters over here. All right. So let me know if this helped you in any way. If you have any tips that help you when it starts to feel a little bit shaky. And I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. That's all. Until next time. Bye.